Hello, it's time for another day of Compassion Camp where we are exploring what it means to be loved, be kind, and be you. And this morning, we got a little bit of a problem. My tent. I'm having a problem with my tent. What do you think it could be? What should I do? I know what I did. I'll bring you over here and show you what happened. We put the tent up without a key ingredient. Let's see what's in this bag. Can you hear it? I have to get it open. What do you think it is? What do you think I forgot? The stakes. Yeah, put it in the ground. They're not real big, but just enough to keep the tent where it's supposed to be. And if you don't do it, just a small amount of wind will blow it down. So our story for today is about being brave when things don't go the way you think that they will. And compassion helps us to be brave. And compassion, remember, is when you see a hurt, you recognize the hurt, and you feel the hurt, and then you help to ease the hurt. That's what compassion is. And so our Bible story today is from Mark chapter 2. And there was a young man that was hurting. He was having a rough time getting around because he didn't have use of his legs. So he had a couple friends that had heard about Jesus. He was back in Capernaum and he was teaching, and so a big crowd had gathered. And they were all jammed in the house, and their friends took their friend who couldn't move. They tried to take him into the house, but it was full. It was full. So they had a bright idea. They thought, well, let's take him up onto the roof. And they took the man on the mat. They carried him the whole way up the roof. They probably had outside steps to get there. And roofs in those days were typically made of dirt. So they were able to dig through the roof and on some ropes carefully lower him down through the hole in the roof to Jesus. And when Jesus saw this, Jesus was so impressed with them and with the young man, and he said, "Son, I forgive your sins." Now there were some grumpy scholars and scribes that were sitting there, and they were whispering and grumbling, "You can't do that." So I'll make a grumpy face. They can't do that. Jesus can't do that. Who does he think he is? And Jesus, of course, knows what's in our hearts and minds, and he heard them, and he said, "Why are you being so skeptical? Which do you think is easier? To say to this man, 'I love you, and so I forgive your sins, I have compassion on you,' or that you can start walking?" So he says, "Well, just so that it's clear that I can do both, one or the other," turned and said to this man, "Get up, take your mat, and walk. Walk on out of here." And the man did it. And he got up and he grabbed his stretcher, and everyone that was watching it, and they were just incredulous. They just couldn't believe it. They were shocked, and they kept praising God, saying, "We have never seen anything like it." It's a great story, isn't it? Now this is Martin. This is my friend. I brought him with me this morning. So Martin, what do you think about this story?
Well, it's all right.
What do you mean it's all right?
Well, I got a question.
Okay, that's what you're here for. You're here to help with any questions that the kids might have or anybody else. So what's your question?
All right. Let's just get into it. Why in the world would they put him down through the roof? The poor guy could have gotten hurt.
Well, because they had compassion on him and they loved him, and so they were doing something. Yeah, it was pretty extreme. It was pretty risky. But I think they did it as safely as they possibly could. I think they were actually taking good care of him. They didn't hurt him more. In fact, they got him to Jesus. Sometimes that's what compassion means, helping people to find Jesus. Compassion makes us brave.
Compassion makes us brave. That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a really important thing to remember. You got any other questions?
Well, now that you mention it, I'm wondering why more people don't get brave. Help others and do what they can. You don't have to do a lot.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's a good point too, Martin. I don't know why everybody doesn't do it. I guess not everybody has learned about compassion. Maybe everybody hasn't come to compassion camp. And so, but we can help more people to be compassionate and brave. So, that's something that we can help teach others, and that they don't have to do big things, like, like if somebody's in behind you in a line, and you don't need what's at the front of the line quite as much, you could let them go ahead of you.
That's nice. Yeah, I like it when people do that.
Yeah. What else could people do that would be brave and compassionate?
Well, if you have enough food, you could share it.
Yeah, that's really good too. You could let someone eat if they're really hungry. Yeah. That's good. That's great. All right, well, Martin, that's time enough for today.
Are you gonna fix the tent?
Yeah, we're gonna fix the tent now, and we're gonna try to work on remembering to be brave. We're learning compassion so that we can tell others how to be loved, to be kind, and to be you. All right, bye-bye.